just fired. It's just fired. I was wrong, but I made it right. You came begging day and night. I don't wanna hit the bottom. Don't go out of your state of mind. I've been counting 1 to 10. I'll be back when you begin. With my music again and again. I see, yeah, I see you go down. Yeah, I see you go down. I see, yeah, I see you go down. Yeah, I see you go down. And I know you keep asking me, flames and fire. I know you are done with me. It's just fired. I see you go down, yeah, I see you go down. I see you go down, yeah, I see you just fired. Just fired. I'm just enough to make you smile, and you need me to hold you close, and all your fears that you dream of will disappear and flutter on. Whoa, hold on just a little. We'll meet right here in the middle ground is where we'll stand. Let go of the riddle, 'cause you'll find life is a riddle that we're not meant to understand. Oh, don't stop. Oh, don't stop. Just look on, and I'll look down, and all your fears have run aground. Then you said, all I ever wanted was to love like this. All I ever needed was to feel like something more.
Welcome, everybody, to the CSL playoffs. We've been here for many weeks. We had our big midseason break. We had many weeks of games. But now here we are, finally, at the CSL playoffs. I am Dennis. With me, as always, is Dan.
Hello. And yeah, we're finally in the playoffs. We could have started a week ago, but unfortunately, due to the stuff that was happening in Texas, we had to unfortunately delay it for a week. But now here we are in the round of 128. So what will happen today? The CSL changed things up a little bit. Instead of doing a regular best of three at the start of playoffs, we're going to start with the best of one. So I think loser of this goes down to the lower bracket.
Yes,
Dennis can
so what'll
back me up on
happen
that.
is that, what'll happen, this is a double elimination bracket. The loser of this round will go into the losers bracket. The winner continues on in winners bracket. Uh, Specifically, the way the bracket's going to work. So today we have Rutgers Varsity up against Missouri Baptist, number 29th seeded Rutgers Varsity versus 100th seeded Missouri Baptist. And the winner of this series will play against the winner of UMBC and Tufts Blue in winner's side round of 64. And then the loser will drop down to the loser's side round of 64 and play the loser of that other game. So definitely very important. Either way, you don't want to be dropping into losers bracket this early if you want to make a deep run in the bracket. That's how double elimination math works. It's a lot harder to go further in losers bracket because there are a lot more games. Um,
And there's more pressure too. You can't deny the amount of pressure you have to deal
mhm.
with when you're
Yeah, it is a
knocked
lot less
down.
pressure to be in winners bracket in some of these later matchups. To go a little bit more onto each of these teams, first we have Rutgers Varsity with Lil Top Top, Decipher Jungle, Rem, Mid, Transact ADC, and I Am Nice Guy support. Uh, we all know this team. We've seen them for the entire split year, season, CSL, whatever.
Season.
They went 9-1 and tied for first in the Northeast Sixth Conference. Just had a really good year altogether for this team with only that one loss. Meanwhile, on the side of Missouri Baptist, uh, we obviously have not been watching them because we are not the
We are
Missouri
not from
Baptist
Missouri. We are not
esports.
Missouri.
They went 8-1 and ended up second in the Midwest 2 conference. Their one loss was to Purdue JV. They are 100th seeded overall. Not generally expected to do well in this match, but they have a lot of good players. They have Blue Skill at top, uh, Ilya, Jungle, Ripstoli mid, young Nate Dogg ADC, and Jirox support.
I feel like that's a
It's
Flyers
going.
reference.
What?
I don't know. I don't know. Jiro is. I know he's a player on the Flyers, but not sure if he's a Flyers fan all the way over in Missouri. I doubt it, but who knows?
Oh, yeah, you're right. I don't follow hockey that
No,
closely.
it's like the one player I know in like the entire like NHL. I have a friend who's like obsessed with the Flyers and hockey in general, so gained a little knowledge
That
there.
makes sense then. But yeah, so on the side of Missouri Baptist, the players definitely to look out for is Ilya, first of all, the jungler. Diamond 1 player, very, very talented on some of these AP picks, especially, uh, but could find some difficulty up against the strong Rutgers laners, uh, as well as that. Rip Stoli, also very impressive, but does not necessarily main the most 11.4 ready champions, has been playing a lot of Katarina, has been playing a lot of Viego. Katarina has gotten shifted a lot over the past
Speaking
couple
of
of patches, and
Viego,
Viego, to mention it,
he's not allowed.
yeah, he's still not allowed. Viego is still apparently way too bugged to be in any game, which is very funny. But we are going to get into the draft fairly soon. For anyone just joining, this is CSL playoffs, round of 128. winner's side, the first matchup for both of these teams. This is going to be a best of one with Rutgers Varsity on the red side, number 28th seeded Rutgers Varsity on the red side, and 100th seeded out of 112 teams. I should mention that as well. Missouri Baptist on the blue. We are going to be getting into draft. We do have a draft link available. I have not seen this before. This is a new draft site for me. I haven't seen this one before.
Oh wow, looks like the.
But yeah, it looks nice. I think it looks nice. We can put it up on stream
Oh
probably in a
wow.
moment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
I
need
know.
to change some things with this overlay. Oh no. Oh
Yeah.
my god. It looks not much nicer, but like we're gonna have some
but it's
issues
not
with the
what we've been
overlay.
using for years.
We're gonna have a bit. Oh yeah, that's. Oh, let's see. How do I change this? Let's see. Hmm.
I'll speak over this for a minute. So in draft,
uh,
some of the things you want to look out for. Blueskilla is very much in the top lane for Missouri Baptist and Urgot main, bordering on one trick. It could be banned out, although I could also see Lil Top preparing something for it and just trying to smash through that lane. I think that's one of the biggest talent differences between these two teams. And Lil Top definitely has the ability to pick something that will just break through that early game. Of course, you've got to be looking at the ADC and support matchup. Jiro in the support position plays a lot of Seraphine in particular. I might see it being banned out. I could see it being picked. It is a good pick, to be honest.
And it looks like
In a
we're
lot of different positions. Say that again?
Looks like we are in Champ Select.
Oh, we are in Champ Select. Okay.
So
first ban was Senna, yeah.
yeah, here we go.
Get Senna off the board.
The ban is so tiny. It's like up in the corner.
Yeah. All right. So Camille, I'm not too surprised about getting off the board. I think Missouri Baptist needs to be focusing down Lil Top in some places. Yone, Seraphine, some of the big recent champions that have been very popular, and Seraphine especially, in that support position, want to get it out of here. Especially for being such a good flex pick. And I guess when you get Camille off the board, why not also get Galio off the board?
Yeah,
it gets one of the
Rutgers.
big comfort compositions for Rutgers Varsity out of there.
It's not
in
even
a best
just
of one, it
it's
could
not
be
even
nice.
just varsity. Like junior varsity, I've been doing it as well. So
That is true.
both teams
It is
have
a
been-
really good team
Yeah,
comp, to
both
be
teams
fair.
are very experienced in that team comp. So it's no surprise that Missouri will take that off of Rutgers'
And then
options.
Uju gets banned, very popular champion recently. And speaking of popular champions, Sakarim's been so popular for so long. It's taking it away from Decipher, who plays it pretty often. But it will put a lot of pressure onto Ilya to get a very good performance on this champion who can carry games, but who can also just be a horse running right to the glue factory.
True. But either way, that was a weird analogy. Anyway, we got a Norn. We got a very safe top lane pick. Looks like Rutgers don't want to take some risky steps right now. They're going to play it safe with the
I
Orn.
think that's kind of interesting. I kind of would have liked to see a little bit more aggressive of a matchup into the top lane, because I do think that Lil Top had a really good matchup there, potentially. Still, you never go wrong with Orn, and Lil Top definitely can play the champion reasonably well, so it's not going to be a big problem. And there's Lilia. Lilia is a really good champion just because it opens up a lot of options. I'm just thinking about very briefly about what would happen if Orn flexed like support or something and Lil Top took Lilia. I doubt that'll happen, but I'm going to mention it.
It
at the
could
very
happen.
least. Lil Top has a nasty Lilia.
The chances of it happening may be low, but it is never zero.
It is never zero. There's Kaisa, who got nerfed on this patch 11.4. Still a popular champion, but does have a couple of answers. Transact could pull out something like the Caitlyn, who has been rising in popularity quite a lot and who did get buffed on this patch.
There's also that. Remember that crazy Senna build? Yeah, that could happen too. That's still
not
a valid
anymore.
option. Oh wait, yeah, they did take. They
Yeah,
did
that's banned.
do some changes. Morgana will be locked in.
Oh well, also Senna's banned.
Oh, that is. I am
Yeah.
blind. That is true.
Morgana getting locked in will keep the Caitlyn Morgana matchup from being there, although I think they probably could have just gone for an engaged support and banned out the Morgana second stage, because either Caitlyn or Morgana, if either Caitlyn or Morgana gets picked here, then the other one won't be able to be picked. The
Ooh, that's a
Xayah coming through
Xayah.
is interesting.
Will that pull a ban from a Rakan ban from Missouri?
I think it has to.
It
The
could
Katarina that I mentioned earlier is off the board now. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Urgot next. Yeah, Rakan, you kind
the
of have to
Rakan
do
gets
that.
pulled.
Especially because there's not a whole lot of specifics you can ban out from I Am Nice Guy or Rem. They have pretty large champion pools. Rem can also go for an AD focused pick in the mid lane because of that Lilia in the jungle. It might be smarter, in fact. Something like a Tristana.
Could be. Tristana is
something
a
like that.
pretty strong pick, and there's the Urgot.
Here's the Urgot. This is why I do my research.
Yep. Missouri
Yeah, so
has
I will be
a
interested in
Urgot one
seeing
trick.
what Blueskilla goes for. I think you probably want to see Blueskilla on, and it's possible that the reason why the
Ooh,
Ornn
that's
was
a good
picked so
ban.
early. That's smart.
That's a
smart,
very
though.
smart
They
ban.
were listening to me. They were not listening to me. But,
We hope they're not
'cause
listening.
we're on a delay.
We hope they didn't get a hold of the stream link. But it's okay. There is a 2-minute delay, so it doesn't matter.
There is a 2-minute delay, so they could not have been listening to me. But yeah, I am curious to see what Blueskilla goes for. I think the Ornn takeaway might have been to make sure that Blueskilla did not get the Ornn pick. Karma, that's not something I've seen.
Xayah
but
Karma on the
actually-
bottom. Actually,
could be
that is a flex pick. That definitely
could
is a
be
flex
mid.
pick.
The reason why I think it could be mid is kind of in the same sense as like a Seraphine or even a Lulu in the current meta, where you build the Ardent Sensor, the Staff of Flowing Water, you get the tier
Moonstone.
to the Seraph's Embrace, you get the Moonstone, of course, and you just buff up all your other champions. And Lilia and Xayah are some of the best champions to do that. I'm not too surprised to see Blueskilla pick up something like this. Assuming that Blueskilla did not get his Comfort Urgot, I was expecting a tank. Ornn is one of the best tanks in the game, especially for someone who is not expecting a good matchup regardless. Malphite is also very good, can lead into those big wombo combo plays. Still, it could be difficult to find a play like that with the defensive composition.
And it looks like they're going to go support and get the Twisted Fate.
That's interesting. It leaves this composition potentially a bit lacking in magic damage, although at the same time you still have the Kaisa and the Hecarim, which deal a little bit. It definitely gives you cross-map plays galore, and it honestly, well...
It looks
we don't know
good
what
on
class
paper,
would be
but
for
then...
Rutgers. It could be support, it could be mid.
Yeah,
We're gonna wait on that.
It does look good on paper for Missouri, but the question is, if they get behind, Missouri's going to lack in a lot of damage. And now we have Lucian.
Yep. I like that pick. I kind of was talking about the Karma pick. The Karma can still do all of that from the support position, all the stuff that I mentioned previously. All the stuff that we mentioned previously from the support position, but Lucian, on the other hand, from the mid lane, you definitely love it with Lilia. Lucian Lilia was like one of the OP comps at Worlds, and in general, it just provides so much. Lucian into Twisted Fate is also a pretty solid matchup. The range is fairly similar, and it means that Twisted Fate doesn't really get away with as much for free. He definitely takes a bit longer to get anything going, I suppose. Be able to like push and roam in that same way that he wants to. We are into real champion select now. And yeah, I guess we can look at these compositions as a whole, or I guess we can start lane by lane. Top lane should be reasonably boring for most of the game, which in some ways I think benefits Missouri Baptist, because I think one of the things that was potentially scariest for them was the idea that Blueskilla was just going to get stomped out of lane by Lil Top, which is why they went for that early Camille ban. getting a tank v tank matchup is probably good for them, but at the same time, it's not really a lane that you can break open and win the game from unless you're getting Ilya fed, I suppose. Malphite getting ahead is never a bad thing, but Hecarim getting ahead is definitely one of the things they need to be doing to win the game. In terms of the jungle matchup, we have horse versus deer.
Very common.
Yeah.
It's a pretty common matchup.
Yeah, it is a pretty common matchup.
At least in the professional world.
Yeah. I like Lilia a lot in general. Lilia's just in general one of my favorite champions. She's just very fun. I think that it definitely provides a lot to the team, but Decipher will be the primary magic damage for this team composition, and so that's something we have to watch out for, is making sure that Decipher is online. This Rutgers team gets really strong in the late game because Ornn is there. You've got Xyolution double crit champions. You have Lilia, who scales pretty well. And then Karma to buff everyone up. This is a very conventional front-to-back team fighting comp in the late game. And if Rutgers gets there, then if Rutgers gets there without any gigantic disadvantages, I think that it should be fine for the most part.
I know I said this earlier, but I'm just very concerned about the damage output coming out of Missouri. Yeah, I definitely agree. Especially when they get behind.
Yeah, especially when they get behind. You're absolutely right, because Malphite is a tank. He doesn't do damage. Morgana's a support. She doesn't do damage.
Twisted Fate doesn't do as much damage.
Twisted Fate does not really do a lot of damage. I would like to see a bit more damage-focused of a build this game. Something like a Proto Belt into Lichbane into Rapid Fire Cannon, not a Rapid Fire Cannon second. I understand that the Rapid Fire Cannon's really nice and feels really good on Twisted Fate, getting that extra range on your gold cards. It could help out the Kaisa a little bit in getting the engage. At the same time, you have plenty of engage on this team. Malphite and Hecarim are fantastic engage, especially when they have a Morgana on the back of them, which means they can't be stopped. Morgana Hecarim is actually a really good combination for that reason alone. Twisted Fate needs to be putting out damage, and that's going to be really difficult. In general, Twisted Fate just does not put out that much damage. And then at the same time, you look at the last two champions, Hecarim, Kaisa. Those are definitely feast famine kind of champions.
Yeah, those are the two we need to look out for in terms of how Missouri plays this game out.
Yeah, and if they get behind in the early game, if Ilya gets like a bad gank and dies, or if young Nate Dogg and Jiro get a bad 2v2 and lose that, this game could effectively be over, because they need to be getting ahead fairly early on if they want to be making a large impact, because this team has the CC to win fights. The damage is
the
just
damage is the concern.
The damage is the concern, and you have to make sure that your damage champions are getting that done, because if they're not, then one of these damage threats from Rutgers will be able to just run over the entire team.
Then if you think about it, it's probably the complete inverse for the side of Rutgers. They have massive damage, but comparing the CC to Missouri, they don't have that much.
It's not great. Lilia's not terrible. If you can tag people with the E, potentially, you get a catch out there. You can use Ornn ultimate for some catch outs. Lilia's ultimate just in general can be a pretty good engage tool, but I do agree in general they don't have the best engage in the world. At the same time, if they can get to a location first, it can be hard to break them out of it. Karma's shields are huge. Zaya's ultimate can be really useful. The damage that comes out of these champions will obviously help them out. And I think that team fights should be fine for Rutgers as long as they don't get too far behind early, and that they can set up vision to make sure that they're not getting run over. So we will take a very brief break. When we come back, CSL playoffs, best of one, Missouri Baptist and Rutgers Esports. We will be watching that. Do not go anywhere. And welcome back to the round of 128 winners side of the CSL playoffs between Missouri Baptist on the blue side and Rutgers on the red.
Yep, and here we go.
Missouri Baptist going for a 5-man running it down mid. Interesting strategy. I don't know what they'll get out of this.
30 seconds.
Usually I want to invade. Yeah, they're going to try to invade bottom side now, but I don't know what they'll get out of it. So I don't know how many of them. Okay, now all of them are spotted. They know that they're spotted, but they were spotted.
Are they going to keep going?
So
Oh, that's 15 gold.
That's 15 gold. Let's go.
Easy money for I Am Nice Guy. He is sitting with a whopping 20 gold, actually.
Minions have spawned.
So before this game, just to give context on why I just said before this game, and also so while I was in the lobby for the game, and I realized that Dan wasn't in the lobby yet, but it was just me and Lil Top in the lobby, and Lil Top was like, "Hey, you heard about Control-Shift-Z, which lets you zoom out the camera?" And our producer Josh also informed us of that before the game, and yeah, now I'm messing around with Control-Shift-Z.
Look at that.
I know, we get so much zoom out. It's so
I don't need
nice.
to use third-party program, but it doesn't matter because this is already amazing. I can get a whole bird's eye view. Alright, I'm gonna make everyone nauseous.
It's very nice.
I'm gonna stop.
But to get back into League of Legends, both junglers going for a bottom side start, or a red side start, excuse me.
Ooh.
That's a lot of damage. I will say that this 2v2 is really aggressive. Both bottom laners took Comet, both bottom laners, or supports, excuse me, both supports took Comet, both supports took Ignite.
I'm just kind of chuckling that I Am Nice Guy actually has Time Warp Tonic. So when he took that damage, he just kind of healed a big chunk. But now they're level 2, and there's a lot happening. Flash!
Ooh.
Blade Color, not gonna do enough damage to take out young Nate Dog.
Well, more than anything else, I think he wanted the stun, but the stun wasn't allowed to go through because of the Morgana shield. So I don't know.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, if Transac had Flash here, that would have been an easy kill. Unless, oh, that was also very close.
It was a good attempt.
Nate Dog is
there are
playing.
no potions on young Nate Dog, so that's just stuck under tower. This will probably be a plate.
He also has summoners.
Right here, young Nate Dog is having some trouble getting the CS.
Ooh, that's the heal.
Yeah, heal had to be burned there.
If he doesn't want to die, he's gonna have to.
Cypher has ended his pathing on the bottom side. They can stay pushed up really far. While Ilya is not really going to get anything done on the top side. I mean, he'll get a Scuttle Crab, but there's not a whole lot that you get there for it since Lil Top is very safe. And the Cypher's getting the Scuttle Crab on the bottom side. Some health has been regened back up by the Doran's Blade for young Nate Dog, but also it means he's very low on mana, has to take this early back for just a longsword probably, or maybe another Doran's Blade. Maybe boots potentially, but oh, actually it's a tier. That's a tier. Have not seen tier builds. Okay, yeah. I didn't think it should be tier. I haven't seen many tier builds since the item changes on Kaisa. Typically you will see the pieces of the Kraken Slayer, the Noon Quiver, the pickaxe, and then also the Serrated Dirk from the Collector to get that early Q upgrade, which I think is the most efficient way to go about it, even though now that I've seen so much of the Collector, I'm kind of lukewarm on it, even though I loved it the first time when I saw it. Still, regarding this match in particular, huge early CS deficit for young Nate Dog. This recall for Transact will get a pickaxe probably, or potentially boots and a longsword, something like that. Double longsword.
Double longsword, close enough.
Yeah. And that'll be a pretty decent-sized advantage for Transact in this early game before young Nate Dogg will be able to back again. Some of that CS difference will be picked back up, and some of it is just lost forever to the turret. And
You're gonna have to
overall,
keep
pretty smart early game for Rutgers, although
it's
that
still-
flash is still down for Transact.
It still is a very slow early game, but I might have spoken too soon, as Ilya is prepping for something here in the mid lane. Keep an eye out for the mid laners as they start to hit level 6, especially onto Stali, who is the Twist of Fate. He can use the Destiny to teleport to the side lanes, maybe set up some kills, if coordinated with Ilya, obviously.
Yeah, I will say as the game goes on, one of the advantages that Missouri Baptist will have is that Rip Stoli has both the teleport and the Destiny Gate, while Rem has the cleanse to match up against the Twisted Fate, because you kind of need the cleanse in order to make sure that the gold card combos don't just kill you. Still, it means that there's less teleport on the side of Rutgers, and it could mean that a side lane might be
And now Dragon's gonna get started up and taken by
Yep.
Rutgers.
Yep,
No-
that's what
no
you
contest.
get when Ilya was spotted on the bottom side, or on the top side, moving top from the mid lane gang. So didn't get anything out of that and gave up the first dragon of the game. Now we are going to see either a Cloud or Infernal Soul, because the
Yeah.
second one's the Ocean.
Oh, wait a minute, we got something happening. Decipher's trying to go for something here. He's gonna get spotted by the control ward, and it looks like this gank is going to fall flat.
Yeah. Doesn't have level 6, didn't land the E, decided that the control ward was very important, so...
I mean, it is.
It is important. I would
It's a 30.
probably
It's a
have gone
30
for
gold
trying to kill the
constellation prize.
champion. Yeah. Didn't even get any summoners out of that one. It looks like all the summoners will be just be coming back up in an ordinary fashion here. So, nothing
Yeah.
major lost for Transact, but also only around a 10 CS gain, which at this point, it doesn't feel like that's growing a whole lot more. They're moving towards level 6.
Ooh, Rutgers are
It
kind of
gets a lot
suspicious.
harder.
They're probably assuming that Hecarim's on the red buff. They see that the Raptors are missing. They're going to go towards that red buff, and what do you know? There is a Hecarim there. Destiny's going to be used. Try to get a pick onto Decipher, but Decipher will flash to keep his distance. Nice cleanse coming out of Rem, but Decipher's very low. But Ilya, he's also very low, and now that's going to be a first blood going over to Decipher. Stali needs to flash out of there. He will do so. Blue Skilla, he's here in the fight, but he's in a 1v3. He can use his ultimate if he wants. He's going to use it, but it's way too late. Stali can't even get in there, and that's going to be 2 quick kills.
Yep, and that's one of the big problems with Twisted Fate. Even if you can get over, your pressure that you provide in a 2v2 is a lot worse than whatever your lane opponent is.
Oh wait,
because
there's
your
going to be a
lane opponent
1v1.
has damage.
Rem, I'm pretty sure Rem wins this. He's going to flash forward. Stali, he's going to die, but he managed to get the trade kill onto Rem. With
Yeah,
that
had the
Spellbook
from-
Ignite.
Yeah, the Spellbook Ignite. Did get the 1v1 there, and that's the thing. Twisted Fate has an okay amount of single target damage, but when you have multiple targets, I mean, he did not get his damage off onto Decipher. His range is also not fantastic at this point in the game. So, just kind of died. Just kind of let Ilya die, didn't really have a
wait a
whole lot of
minute.
answers.
Ilya. Yeah, things may not have gone well topside, but he's going to try in the bot lane. Transact going to use the ultimate to get enough damage onto Jiro. He's going to go down first. I Am Nice Guy will get traded. Both supports are down so far, but now Wiltop, he's shown up in the bot lane. Ilya going to get rooted up by the Flash Blade Color from Transact, but he still might go down. Ilya probably has the damage. Looks like he doesn't. And Transact will live with the sliver of HP.
As he said, a sliver of HP left for Transact, but again, just not the damage there. And one of the other issues with this team composition is the damage is not just low, it's inconsistent. Young Nate Dogg was not able to get into the fight with no summoners and no ultimate. Ilya was not really able to get onto anyone with no
Oh, we're
flash
gonna have to
and
cut
no
this short
ultimate
because
from-
Rem, he's trying to make stuff happen in the
I
top lane. Blue
don't
Skilla going to try to run hit away, but the culling will give Blue Skilla a nice back massage until he says, "No, I don't want this anymore," and flashes away.
That was a lot more damage than I expected. Even still, not able to get it. Please kill it did flash out, but not a huge issue for the Malphite because he still have the ultimate if you need it for something. Still, a lot of big problems for Missouri Baptist in this early game. starting to lose out on a lot of these fights. Nothing catastrophic has happened yet. It's only about a 1k gold deficit. Twisted Fate will buoy your gold a little bit, although that can also be a bad thing because Twisted Fate's gold is useless. Not that it's useless, but it's definitely less valuable than, say, your Hecarim, who's behind around 300 gold, or your Kaisa, who's behind around 700 gold.
Also, Dennis, I'm sorry to break it to you, but this Twisted Fate does not seem to be going per develop.
I don't like. I'll wait. See, I'll wait and I'll see and I'll think about it.
Which one do you think it'll be, though? Would it be the Ludens or will it be the Leandries?
Has to be it, right? Leandries doesn't make any sense.
It's got to be the Ludens.
I don't mind the Ludens, I suppose, if you need extra damage on this Twisted Fate. I just think that Protobelt provides it.
Oh, Ilya, he gets spotted. Does have the smite to get the Herald, so Wiltop should be running the safety here unless Ilya has the damage to prove himself that he can take down this top laner. But Rem, he's also here. Destiny's going to be used to try to stun up Wiltop, but he still gets the knockup off. But doesn't matter. Rem, he's going to try to get the kill onto Stali. Lilia going to try to do what he can to get the ultimate off, but it only sleeps 2 people. And Decipher, he's already down. But Rem and Transact, the 2 damage dealers of the team, they're going to be here and they will clean up. I believe that is a 2 for 2 overall.
Was a 2 for 2 overall, and I do think Rutgers bit off a bit more than they can chew there. It would definitely not have been a terrible play to just leave Lil Top and not even try to fight that. But definitely a good response to try to split up the team of Missouri Baptist, although at the same time, Missouri Baptist, you still have 5 members.
I don't like this Dragon Call. Not liking this. Ilya's already here. Decipher still needs a couple more seconds.
I think that they can do this. Decipher will be there in a minute. I don't think Ilya will. Ilya has to, like, engage hard on it.
Oh, that was a little bit close.
It was fine.
95 HP.
I will say, I think the big issue there was that they hadn't backed after that previous fight, so there was a lot of unspent gold, while Ilya and Ripstoli both had their completed mythic items already.
So Herald's
Still
gonna get used in the mid lane. Yeah, that's gonna go down.
Actually, that's huge.
Good call coming out of Missouri.
That's a really good map play.
But now, who is overextending? It looks like Decipher is going to be the one overextending, but he does have the Zonius buy a little bit of time. Decipher, he's going to do enough damage to take down Ilya and Rem. He needs to do what he can. He's going to kite. He's going to try his best, but the flash is there, and the Q will connect, and Lucian is down. 1 for 1 overall. It might not be a 1 for 1 anymore, as the TF is going to get slept on and taken out. And that's a 2 for 1.
Yeah. I will say overall, I think that Missouri Baptist is playing really well around the map and is just getting outskilled in a couple of places. That play to take the mid lane turret, like, that is a really early mid lane tower take for how this game has been going so far, and for how Ripstoli has not actually been dominating the lane.
I'm pretty sure Blue Skull lives here. He's probably going to use the ultimate to run away, unless he just gets CC'd up. Blade Color, going to get committed by Transact.
A lot of damage.
Yeah. Probably has enough for his mythic right now. He's gonna back to try to get it.
He's probably smart, yeah.
Yeah, there's the
a
Gale
little
Force.
bit of a down spot. There we go. Gale Force plus Alacrity Boots, or Berserker Greaves, not Alacrity Boots.
But either way, mythic items are starting to finish up for both these teams. Divine Sunder finish for the Hecarim. The TF has picked up the Luden's Tempest. Double Gale Force coming out of both the AD carries. Not both the AD carries. Not except Kaisa.
Yeah.
Double AD carries as in, you know, Transact and Rem, but Transact doesn't have the Blade Collar, and he's just gonna go down unless I'm Nice Guy is able to peel off, but the flash forward will be the one that'll finish off Transact, and the gold card from the Twisted Fate will secure the kill onto I Am Nice Guy. But can Rem and Decipher, can they try to do something else? Decipher, he's just going to get CC'd up. That's so much damage coming out of Missouri, but it's not enough to take him out. Rem, he's going to try to do what he can. He's going to take a kill onto the Twisted Fate. Ilya going to try to do what he can. He will get the kill onto Rem, but will get traded by the Decipher. And that was a very rough team fight. 2
Yeah,
for 2
and it
overall.
was sort
No,
of-
3 for 2.
Yep. And it's sort of what we were saying in Champion Select, where even if you take down a couple of members of Rutgers, some of them will still have a lot of damage and will be able to carry fights. Rem, still very strong, even though Transact is down. Rem and Decipher were still able to do a ton of damage in that fight. And even though Decipher was zoned away for a decent amount of the fight, still there was plenty of damage to get that done. Missouri Baptist has been holding in really well, but at the same time...
Blue Skill is getting cut down. And now there's a teleport being committed. A good route to deny the ultimate. But they're just gonna get ultimate. Yeah, there it is. There's the combo. Transact gets exploded. Exhaust even gonna put down on I Am Nice Guy. And that's gonna be a quick and easy double kill going over to Twist of Fate.
Yeah, that was a bit of a mistake from Rutgers. Can't engage that far into a play like that. I don't think that there was any reason to try to kill Blues Killa. There was no need to. Just clear out the wave, maybe rotate over, be ready for the Rift Herald in a couple... it's about a minute away, but even still, you can just clear out the wave, try to push, like... Take it slow, you're fine, you're the late game team composition. You don't have to be rushing a lot of these early engages.
So
Especially in a best of one, you don't want to be doing anything too brash like that.
Dragon is spawning in about 30 seconds. And it seems like Missouri are in prime position to be able to take this one.
It is Cloud Soul, which is not great, but if you can pick up a bunch of Cloud Dragons, that feels really nice. As well as if you can get the Cloud Soul, it actually works fairly well on champions like Hecarim, like Twisted Fate, like Kaisa. They like movement speed after their ultimates, so it's definitely something that'll benefit this Missouri Baptist team more than something like this Rutgers team. Well, it's not worthless on the Rutgers team either. Plus, you'll get the early Elder Dragon spawn and maybe have that as a win condition in the late game.
Alright, let's see how this Dragon will turn up. Malphite has to push the top lane. He doesn't have teleport to join this fight. He does get the top tower though. And we'll see how this fight will go out. There might not even be a fight at all because they're outnumbered and Rutgers will be on soul point.
Yeah. The two big things is one, Rutgers was kind of established in the Dragon Pit, and two, Blueskilla was just not there. And Blueskilla really has to be there for any fight. So as soon as Rutgers saw that they had the number advantage, you just say, okay, burn down the dragon. They can't really contest it unless it's like a attempt at a smite steal. So yeah, we are at a pretty neutral point. It looks like Missouri Baptist is going to go for this other Rift Herald. Despite the fact that they've been so bad on dragons, they got the first Rift Herald, and it looks like they're getting this one as well. They lose the bottom lane tower, but they're still up 2-1 in towers and a little bit of gold. Although more than all of that gold lead, so if you discount the two mid laners, there is no gold lead, and we all know the...
So they're going to be knocking on the tower here, but I'm pretty sure Nate Dogg and Stolly should be able to keep them from pushing any farther. Recalls are coming through. Some buys are coming through as well. Everyone except Jiro here has a mythic item.
Yep.
That's worth pointing out.
Yeah, it is. I like this buy of the Bramble Vest for Blueskilla. I do kind of hope that gets upgraded into like a Thornmail, because while it is just kind of nice in the 1v1, especially if Ram or Transact shows up to a side lane, I think it'll be very useful in team fights since you are the main tank of the team, and Decipher, even if Decipher hits you a lot, you're probably not going to be taking a ridiculous amount of damage. You build up a lot of health anyway, so you'll have some of those kinds of, health and resistances to stop Decipher from just running you over. You've got to make sure that the AD carries are the ones who don't carry the fight as easily. And also keep an eye on I Am Nice Guy's items already at the Moonstone Renewer. Probably going to be going for the Ardent Sensor next, if I had to guess, which is a big power spike for both of these AD carries, so it's definitely something to keep an eye out for.
Oh, but the Malphite is hunting. He's looking. That's going to force a Gale Force, but the Blade Caller, no, not the Blade Caller, it's the Feather Storm, but he's going to flash away, he's going to be safe, but a lot of resources used to keep the Xayah alive. We'll see how Rutgers will respond to this. But then again, if you think about it, Blueskilla, he's the engage for the team. Now Stali, he's going to have to dance his way out of there, but the Ornn ult will just be able to just finish him off. Now Blueskilla, no ultimate, no nothing, no flash even, and he's just going to get run down probably. Decipher might have to commit the ultimate here. Looks like it's not needed. The heal coming a little bit too late, and now Rutgers straight to the Baron.
Yeah, and that was a great play of Rutgers identifying what they had out of that play. They lost out on the flashes from both of their bot laners and the Xayah ultimate. So they said, okay, we can just start doing damage to a bunch of these champions. We have counter engage, and we know that Blueskilla and Ripstali.
Wait a minute, Hecarim. Ilya, he does have the ultimate. He can get in there to try to steal this. We'll see if he will. There's the trigger, but Ilya, is he going to get the steal off? Will he get it? No, he will not. He's way too late, but Xayah will be the one to take down the Baron. Nate Dogg trying to do his best to try to steal that away, but it was not a very worth flash. And now I Am Nice Guy, yeah, he's going to get interrupted by Blueskilla. We'll see if he has the damage. Malphite ultimate is available, but Jaro, he's a little bit low. I Am Nice Guy might be able to just take him out with the Mantra Q. We'll see if he will. The Ignite goes down. Yeah, that's going to be a kill. Supports both die.
That was a good play by an I Am Nice Guy getting the kill in return. It's not too important that I Am Nice Guy died. There's still 3 Baron buffs for Rutgers, and that should definitely be what can open up this game for Rutgers, and just a really good job of having that mid-game map awareness, knowing what advantages they had, knowing that a 3v5 was more than enough to go straight to Baron, and knowing how to make that 3v5 happen. Ram just opening up the culling on Ripstali with basically no reason.
But also, to point out, they did use the Herald before they tried to stop the Baron, and that Herald did a lot of work.
Ooh, it really did.
You can see the mid lane. That is a very exposed inhibitor.
Yep. Definitely a good job by, I mean, it's 5-1 in turrets so far, which, if you look at anything else in this game, it really doesn't feel like it should be 5-1 in turrets. So it's been a good job by Rutgers.
Yeah, game is still dead even. This is for the soul. Will Rutgers get it? Dragon down to half. Destiny's going to be used, and there is no chance of a steal. Ripstali, he's going to be there, but Rem, he's going to go in. He's going to just jump on Stali. I Am Nice Guy will be also falling. Just messy team fights, 2 different fronts. Decipher going to Zanya, buy time. Is he going to go down? Gale Force from Nate Dogg will be the one to finish it off, but Rem and Transact, they're both still alive with the Liltop tanking all the damage, but Liltop, he's going to concede, he's going to flash away, and that, what is that, a 3 for 2 benefiting for Missouri.
Yeah, the big thing is that all the members of Rutgers with Baron buffs kept their Baron buff. Decipher and I Am Nice Guy were the 2 that lost it, but Liltop and Rem and Transact had the Baron buff before the Dragon, and they kept it after the Dragon. So, overall, not really a whole lot lost for Rutgers in that play. You get the Soul pickup, you keep your Baron, they can try to make a push with, I don't think they have enough Baron left to make a push, actually. So they lose out on that, but the Baron pressure did give them...
this game is still on a nice edge. 23 minutes, 1,000 gold difference, not even.
It is close. I will say, the one big thing I want to say is Rem is having a really good game. Always where he needs to be, always able to put out a lot of damage. 1v1'd out Blueskilla in that fight, which is huge because it meant that there was basically no tanky members of the rest of the team. Ilya is sort of tanky, but not tanky enough. Not tanky in the same way as Blueskilla.
Does have the Randuin's Omen.
Does have
that
the
is a very good pickup, considering that Transact and Rem, they're the 2 main carries. But yeah, I Am Nice Guy, surely he'll go down. There it is. The Kill Force will be committed.
I think the flash was like literally milliseconds from coming back up on death there for I Am Nice Guy.
Bit unfortunate. But
a bit unfortunate, but at the same time, I think even if the flash was burned, you might still lose out on that. Not a bad, definitely a good pick for Missouri Baptist, but not a terrible play for Rutgers.
Oh,
It's
Rem, he's gonna dodge away from the Hecarim ultimate. Will that be enough? Ilya uses the on the minion. That's gonna change a lot. Rip Sally, he's gonna try to do something, but he's gonna try to just damage the Transact. But Transact lives with a sliver of HP, and just like that, everyone's dead. Everyone that was bot lane on the side of Missouri is just gone, evaporated.
Yep, and Little Top is just massive this game. You can see the comfort on the Ornn pick, which really doesn't feel like a thing that should be a thing, but every single Ornn ultimate has been absolutely perfect for Lil Top. And it has done so much work in this game. That play there, where the Ornn ultimate came from where they were, where all three members were, and then picking up the two members with much higher health, less guarantee of a kill, but knew that the wall was right next to it, so Lil Top was definitely going to be able to follow up with the E knockup, and all of that CC could come together with some Decipher damage, and they could just blow up all three members. And so smart of Lil Top to be able to identify all of those things in the middle of a fight like that.
Yeah, and looking at items, everyone has finished their second core items. The identical build.
Identical builds.
Yeah, they are going the identical build. It's the exact.
I think the third item is IE as well.
I think it is an Infinity Edge as well, but it's still funny how they're both going the exact same thing.
It's
like lined up perfectly.
Stories were like identical a moment ago, and I was like, huh, are they just gonna keep doing this?
But wait a minute, they're gonna set up a fun bush. Oh, the scrying orb will be the one that'll catch him off guard, and now there's the engage coming out of Rutgers. There's the sleep onto two. Ro128 will be the black shield herself, but it's not going to be enough as the tank of the team will go down. As Nate Dogg needs to run for the hills with that Gale Force flash, and he will do so. Ilya needs to use the Hecarim ultimate to run away to safety. And everyone on Missouri is just scrambling to leave as the Baron is spawning. We'll see if they'll be able to take this, or even do anything to try to stop this Baron.
Yeah, that's the thing. Rutgers is just trying to get like maybe one pick and scatter the team, using all their ultimates to do so, because now what is there to be done for Missouri Baptist? They're zoned way too far out of the pit. The ultimate could be used for young Nate Dogg, but yeah, you can't really do anything about that, and that's a 5-member Baron buff for Rutgers. That second Baron should definitely be what Rutgers can use to open up this game. They've been behind turrets the entire time. That should be what they use to bust down 3 lanes, hopefully get an inhibitor. If not get an inhibitor, definitely push down these lanes towards the base.
Yeah, 4 minutes ago, this game was neck and neck with a sub 1 cable difference. Now it's gone up to almost 5. And the push could happen, but if you look at the timer, there is an Elder spawning. And Rutgers probably should be taking that, but rips the... Oh my goodness, the Essence regime will be just... That's just going to burst down Sully, and now it's going to be a 45 that Missouri needs to fight out. Good invis, but it's not going to be enough as Kaisa just gets evaporated. Nice 3-man knockup, but will it be enough as Transact and Rem are running rampant over Missouri? And that's just 4 easy kills, and Ro128 is the only man alive. They're going to take this Elder just for a consolation prize. But it might not even matter, as Rutgers should be able to just take this game and just run right over.
Yeah, I don't think that's the end of the game exactly, but it is pretty close. Being able to pick up double buffs at this point, and also probably being able to break down to the inhibitor level. A couple members will be respawning, so I don't think the inhibitor itself will be down. They're still going for it now.
They're gonna go for it. They have the damage.
Yeah, they do it.
And the speed.
And they have the movement speed, yeah. So they still make that one happen, and a great play there in making that happen. And as I said, as this game gets later and later, I don't know how Missouri Baptist is going to be able to match Rutgers. 3 level 16 members for Rutgers now. Most importantly, Lil Top
Ornn
is still having a
items.
fantastic game. Yeah,
Don't forget
Ornn
that
items
part.
are huge. Yeah, the Ornn items are huge. That is the one difference in build. Oh, okay, there are 2 differences in builds now. For Rem and Transact, but one of them a moment ago, the only one of them was an item.
Wouldn't it be better if Rem had the QSS? Okay.
Ooh, rip.
Elder Dragon.
Rem has been doing that the whole game. But in that last team fight, what was really important is Lil Top got the E, knocked up Young Nate Dogg, and that was the huge play because Young Nate Dogg is the damage carry on this team. Nobody else can be doing that kind of damage. And if Young Nate Dogg's out of the fight, you win the fight. Rutgers was getting like CC'd all over the place on the backside of that fight. It did not matter. They were not getting any damage done to them. That's what Rutgers is needed to do in that fight, and Lil Top made it happen. Definitely a fantastic performance from him, and a fantastic performance from most of the members of the Rutgers team.
Alright, now they're gonna start knocking on the door of this inhibitor tower.
These E's from Lilia also really chunked.
We'll see how Rutgers will be able to take this. They're gonna take the top inhib. We'll see if they'll rotate towards the bottom. Unless they can just run for the end, it looks like Rutgers will be playing it safe. We'll get that triple inhibitor down.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I think that they should have tried to go for some sort of engage because they still have the Elder buff. That's going to wear off fairly soon. But it is safer just to go, alright, we're leaving, we broke open your base, we have a huge gold lead now, we're going to spend all of the gold that we just got, and it's going to be a great time for us, and not for you, actually. Especially as this game gets later and later, and Ripstolly has less and less impact on the game damage-wise, because if Rutgers stays grouped up, Ripstolly can only really burst out one of those members. And if Lil Top is the one in front, which he was in that Baron play, Ripstolly doesn't do anything. Ripstolly just says, okay, I use my gold card move, and doesn't do a whole lot. I don't hate what Missouri Baptist went for in the draft, trying to go for a looser, more CC-oriented comp that's a little bit easier to execute a team fight that looks good if you're ahead. But now that they're a little bit behind, now that they're in the late game, it's really difficult to see where this team can run it back.
Oh wait, Ram.
If it happens every 5 minutes.
He's gonna give nice back massages to everyone. As Stolly, he's a little bit low, but the Ornal not quite well timed, and that's gonna keep Stolly alive. But now they're gonna start knocking down this bottom lane tower, the last one. And now there's the engage, there's the knock-up onto Ilya, the Black Shield coming a little late, but it doesn't even matter as Ilya is able to survive as the last inhibitor goes down. That's triple inhibs, double super is coming in very soon. And then Rutgers...
Yeah, Rutgers can probably just back and wait for Baron, probably. There's not a whole lot that Missouri Baptist would be able to do about it because of all the minions going into the base. It would have to push things out pretty far at this point. 30 seconds to Baron. I don't know what Missouri Baptist can do at this point, especially given that if they even come close to Rutgers, they're going to get bursted out, and I don't think that they can respond to Baron in the amount of time that they have. So I think they just have to clear out waves and hope.
Just hope for the best.
Yeah. Because this Baron's coming through, whether they want it or not. There's Mr. Purple Lizard Man.
Yep, and there is the third Baron. And no contest. They gotta deal with these waves. Unless... Okay. That was a interesting ultimate coming out of a Stolly. Now Blue Skill, he's gonna get back massage, but is it enough? Nope. Gale Force will be the one that'll finish him off.
Yep. I'll be honest, there's nothing wrong with the control shit.
Yep, and now there's the engage, and Stolly just gets popped. And that's going to be the rest of Missouri following suit, as everyone will fall, and Ram, how does he survive that? It doesn't even matter, as Rutgers will be able to keep themselves afloat in this upper bracket going into round number 2.
Yep, as you said it, winner's bracket. Round of 64 is where Rutgers will be going, and just an overall great performance from this team. It looked a little shaky at times. I definitely commend Missouri Baptist for having a strong footing in the early game. It definitely did not look like Missouri Baptist could never win this game, but as the game went on, they had to make a big play. They had to find something, and they were just never able to find what they needed to in order to win that game. So I definitely commend the effort. We will eventually find out who Rutgers will play up against in the round of 64 winners side, either 36th seeded UMBC or 93rd seeded Tufts. We will probably find that out later, but for now, just a great game from Rutgers.
Yeah,
I think
very
that,
impressive. They, they
yeah.
they did take it slow in that mid game or mid to late game, but
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure they were able to close it out without that Baron buff. But just to make sure, they do take
It
that
would have
Baron
been
buff.
possible, but also it was there.
It was just
Like
there. It
the,
was
the
like
Baron
why?
buff
That's like
was
a why
easily
not?
available. Yeah. I mean, it was a little bit cleaner with the Baron buff. It means that you have a lot less room to fail, and there was basically no downside to taking that Baron buff. In terms of the players, I think everyone played pretty well. I think there were definitely issues in the early game in the bottom lane. There were some good plays around the level like 2 point for Rutgers, but not a whole lot of advantage as you would kind of like out of a complete counter matchup. Rutgers had the counter pick for both AD carry and support, although a couple supports were banned out, or just the Rakan was banned out, but even still, kind of want a little bit better of a performance when you do have the counter matchup. I think Rem played really well, obviously. 14-3 and 11 is a fantastic scoreline.
Yeah.
As well as most gold in the game by far. You could see how he's bursting out everyone constantly, doing a ton of damage. My goodness, the damage graphs are ridiculous. I think Decipher also played really well, as did Lil Top. I talked about Lil Top the entire game. It felt like where every single time there was a crucial team fight that Lil Top needed to perform in, Lil Top definitely did exactly what he needed to on that tank pick. Definitely has a lot of different flexibility, and that could be something that later down in this bracket can be scary for a lot of other teams to deal with.
And yeah,
So,
I'm
yeah.
pretty. Yeah, Dennis pretty much summed up the game we just watched. So good news, Rutgers will be moving on into the winners bracket. They will keep themselves in a somewhat comfortable spot heading into the round of 64. So we are excited to see how Rutgers will be able to move on.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, I believe we are done for today. Not sure about
Definitely.
the scheduling as of the other teams, at least for Rutgers JV. Not quite sure when those games will be taking place. We will get you guys updated in the Rutgers League of Legends Discord. If you're not in there, you should probably get in there so you can keep watching us, cast over these games.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I think that'll be it from us. Any other thoughts for you, Dennis?
Yeah, just definitely keep it tuned. Get into the Rutgers League of Legends Discord to get all the updates for when streams like this are about to start. And follow this Twitch channel and also subscribe to the YouTube channel for all the VODs of these games if you want to see those. But yeah, I think that's it.
All right, and we will see you guys next week. And everyone here, stay safe out there and have a good night.